Far away in the galaxy, on a bright blue planet called Valara, lived a proud and strong princess named Kaela. She was the leader of her people, the Valarans, who were known for their brave warriors and strict rules. Valara was a beautiful world, with tall mountains, deep forests, and wide rivers that shone like silver. The Valarans had lived there for many generations, always protecting their home from outside threats. Princess Kaela stood tall on the balcony of her palace. She looked out at the sky. Today was not like other days. Something new was coming. Ships from another world were arriving, ships from the humans. Humans were strange to the Valarans. They came from a small planet called Earth, far across many stars. The Valarans had only heard stories about humans, how they were daring, loud, and sometimes reckless. Some Valarans feared them, others were curious. But Kaela was firm. She believed her people must protect their world and keep their traditions safe. The sky filled with bright lights as the human ships landed near the city. The humans came out in their suits, looking small but confident. Their leader was Captain Ryan. He was tall with dark hair and kind eyes. He smiled as he walked forward. He wanted to meet Kaela and talk about peace. Kaela waited in the grand hall of her palace. Her council stood around her, whispering nervously. The council was full of warriors and elders who believed that the humans were dangerous invaders. They warned Kaela to be strong and not trust these strangers. When Captain Ryan and his team entered the hall, the air felt tense. Kaela's eyes met Ryan's. She was proud and calm, but also cautious. Ryan bowed slightly, a human sign of respect, and said, "Princess Kaela, I come from Earth with greetings and hope for friendship." Kaela's voice was steady as she replied, "Captain Ryan, your people come far. But you must understand, Valara is a proud world. We do not welcome outsiders lightly." Ryan nodded. "We understand your caution. We only want peace and to learn from you." But Kaela's council did not agree. One elder spoke loudly, "Humans are unpredictable. They break rules and bring chaos. We must not allow them to change our ways." Kaela raised her hand to silence them. She turned to Ryan and said, "Your words are kind, but words are not enough. Trust must be earned." The meeting ended without any clear agreement. Ryan and his team were taken to a secure place to stay while Kaela's people decided what to do. The humans respected the rules but wondered how to prove they meant no harm. Outside the palace, the Valaran city was alive with whispers. Some people were curious about the humans. Children stared at their strange clothes and speech. Others felt fear and anger. Could they really trust these bold strangers? Ryan stood with his team, looking up at the palace. "We need to find a way to show them we are not their enemies," he said. "Kaela may be strong, but maybe she can see our courage." Back in the palace, Kaela walked in her private garden. The sky was full of stars. She thought about the humans. They were different from anyone she had met. Their boldness was unusual. Could it be a strength? Or would it bring danger? Her heart was torn. She wanted to protect her people, but also wondered if change was needed. For now, she would hold her ground. The days passed with little progress. Kaela met with her council and the humans several times. Each meeting was careful and full of tension. The Valarans tested the humans with questions about their technology and culture. The humans answered honestly, but boldly. One night, Ryan asked Kaela, "Why do you hold so tightly to your traditions? What do you fear?" Kaela looked at him quietly. "I fear losing what makes Valara strong. Our rules keep us safe and proud." Ryan smiled gently. "Sometimes strength comes from change, from boldness, from learning new ways." Kaela did not answer. The silence between them was heavy. Suddenly, news came that a group of young Valeran warriors had challenged the humans to prove their worth in a test of skill. It was a Velaran tradition, show respect through strength. Ryan accepted without hesitation. He wanted to show Kayla and her people that humans could stand strong too. The challenge was set in the great arena of Valara. Thousands gathered to watch. The sun shone brightly and the air was full of excitement. Kayla watched from her place above the crowd. The Valaran warriors were fierce, moving with speed and power. Ryan and his team used their own skills, different but effective. The battle was fast and intense. To everyone's surprise, Ryan and the humans did not back down. They fought with courage and cleverness. The crowd murmured, impressed by their boldness. When the fight ended, Kayla stood and spoke. "You have shown strength and courage, Captain Ryan, but this is only the beginning. Our trust is not given easily." Ryan bowed again. "We will earn it, Princess. One step at a time." That night, Kayla stood on her balcony again, looking at the stars. The humans had changed something in her, something she could not ignore. She was still proud, still cautious, but maybe, just maybe, a bold human could change everything. After the fierce contest in the arena, both the Valarans and the humans had a new respect for each other. The crowd buzzed with surprise. No one expected the humans to be so brave and skillful. Yet, even with that respect, many questions and doubts still hung in the air. Princess Kayla returned to her council chambers. She sat at the head of the long table, surrounded by her advisors. Some smiled quietly at the idea of working with the humans. Others frowned, worried that this strange species might break their traditions and cause trouble. Captain Ryan and his team stayed in the guest quarters inside the palace walls. Ryan wanted to find ways to help his people fit in. He knew the Valarans had strict rules and deep customs. It would not be easy, but he believed humans and Valarans could work together if they tried hard. Kayla arranged a formal meeting between her council and the human team. The room was large and decorated with ancient Velaran symbols. Everyone sat with careful attention. Kayla spoke first. "We have seen your courage, humans. But Valara is not just about strength. Our ways are old and strong. To live here, you must respect our laws." Ryan nodded. "We understand that, Princess. We want to learn. We want to be friends, not enemies." One elder, tall and serious, leaned forward. "Your people break rules easily. You take risks without thinking. That can bring disaster." Ryan smiled calmly. "Sometimes taking risks leads to new solutions. We think differently, but that does not mean we are careless." Another Valaran, a woman with silver hair, spoke sharply. "Your technology is advanced, but your actions can be reckless. You might endanger us all." Ryan answered, "Our technology is a tool. It can protect or harm. We want to protect." The tension in the room grew. Neither side wanted to lose face. Kayla raised her hand. "Enough. We will continue this dialogue, but know this. Valara's traditions protect our people. Change must come slowly." Ryan looked at Kayla, hoping she would see his sincerity. "I believe that boldness and respect can grow together. We only ask for a chance." Days passed with talks and debates. The humans shared stories about Earth, their history and why they had come so far. The Valarans listened but also asked many questions. Sometimes their questions were sharp, testing the humans' honesty and patience. Meanwhile, Kayla spent time walking among her people. She wanted to feel their thoughts and fears. Some whispered that the humans were dangerous invaders. Others hoped this new alliance could bring peace and trade. One evening, Kayla met with an elder named Varen in the palace garden. Varen was wise and had fought many battles for Valara. He looked at the stars with a heavy heart. "Princess," he said softly, "these humans may be bold, but they do not understand our ways. Their freedom is reckless. Our traditions keep us safe. If we lose them, what will remain? Kayla listened quietly. But Varen, what if their boldness is a strength? What if change can make us stronger, not weaker? Varen shook his head. Change can destroy. We must be careful. Kayla's thoughts were troubled. She saw the fear and hope in her people's eyes. Could she balance both? In the human quarters, Ryan gathered his team. We must find common ground. Our way is different, but we want peace. Let's learn their language, their customs. We cannot force trust. We must earn it. His second-in-command, Lutimira, nodded. I agree. If we show respect and patience, they may accept us. As humans and Valarans spent more time together, small friendships began to grow. Some Velaran children played with human children, sharing stories and laughter. These moments showed the true possibility of peace. But not all was calm. One day, a group of Velaran traditionalists held a meeting in secret. They feared the humans, would weaken Valara's power. They planned to challenge the humans openly, to test their courage again, and to remind Kayla to hold the old ways. When Kayla learned of this, she was torn. She knew the challenge would cause tension, but she also knew she must face her people's fears honestly. Kayla called Captain Ryan. There is a test ahead. It is a tradition among my people. If you accept, you will show your true strength. Ryan smiled. We accept. We want to prove we belong here. The challenge was set to take place in a few days. Both sides prepared carefully. The humans trained harder, learning Valaran combat styles. The Valarans sharpened their skills, ready to defend their honor. On the day of the challenge, the arena was filled with spectators. The sun was bright, and the air was tense with excitement and worry. Kayla stood at the edge of the arena, watching closely. She saw the humans move with determination and respect for the rules. They fought bravely but also with care. The Valarans fought hard, pushing the humans to their limits. But something was different this time. The humans showed patience and understanding, not just strength. The Valarans saw this too. At the end, no one won by force alone. The fight ended in a draw, a sign that both sides had strength and respect. The crowd was silent for a moment, then slowly began to cheer. Kayla smiled softly. She knew this was more than a battle. It was a step toward trust. That night, Kayla and Ryan met again. Your people are different, she said quietly. Not all of us are ready to trust yet, but you have changed my view. Ryan looked into her eyes. We will keep trying. Together, we can build something new. Kayla nodded. She still held her ground, but inside, something was shifting. The clash of cultures had not ended, but it had begun to change. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, hope shone bright on Valara. The days after the great challenge in the arena felt different. The people of Valara were still talking about the humans. Many were surprised by their courage and respect for Valaran ways. Even some of the older traditionalists began to soften their words. But deep inside, some still worried about what the future might bring. Princess Kayla was busy with her duties. She had to lead her people and keep their world safe. One morning, as she walked through the palace gardens, a messenger arrived with urgent news. A fleet of hostile ships is approaching Valara's orbit, the messenger said quickly. They belong to the Dralcor, a ruthless alien faction known for conquering planets. Kyla's eyes narrowed. The Dralcor were a dangerous enemy. They destroyed worlds without mercy. Valara's defenses were strong, but they could not face such a fleet alone. She called her council at once. The hall filled with tension. The Valaran generals spoke of battle plans and strategies. But Kayla's mind was already thinking of the humans. If we fight alone, she said firmly, Valara may fall. We need help. An elder frowned. Help from humans? Can we trust them in battle? Kayla looked at the council. They have proven their courage. I will ask Captain Ryan for an alliance. The council was silent. This was a big step, but they trusted Kayla's judgment. Kayla sent a message to the humans. Captain Ryan came quickly to meet her in the council hall. We face a great danger, Kayla said. The Dralkor fleet is coming. We must unite or be destroyed. Ryan nodded. We expected nothing less. Humans will stand with Valara. We fight together. The two leaders shook hands, a symbol of their new alliance. Over the next days, humans and Valarans worked side by side. The humans shared their technology, advanced shields, faster communications, and new weapons. The Valarans taught the humans about their battle formations and tactics. Kayla and Ryan spent long hours planning. They studied the Dralkor ships, learning their strengths and weaknesses. Ryan admired Kayla's leadership. She was proud and strong, but open to new ideas. Kayla respected Ryan's boldness and calm mind. One evening, as the sun set over Valara's mountains, Kayla and Ryan stood together on the palace balcony. Do you think we can win? Ryan asked quietly. Kayla smiled. We must, for our people and for the future. The first Dralkor ships entered Valara's orbit. They were huge, dark, and deadly. The planet's alarms sounded loudly. Valaran warriors rushed to their battle stations. Humans prepared their weapons and shields. The battle began. The Dralkor attacked fiercely. Their ships fired powerful lasers and missiles. Velaran defenses took heavy damage, but the humans' technology helped slow the enemy. Their shields absorbed many attacks. Their pilots moved quickly, surprising the Dralkor. Kayla led the Velaran warriors on the ground. She fought with sword and skill, inspiring her soldiers. Ryan commanded the human fleet in space. His orders were sharp and clear. He coordinated the attacks with Valaran generals. Together, they formed a strong defense. Still, the Dralkor were relentless. They sent a large ship to attack the palace directly. Kayla stood ready with her guards. The palace walls shook as missiles hit. Ryan's fleet raced to protect the palace. They launched their most powerful weapons. The big Dralkor ship began to break apart. In the heat of battle, Kayla saw a group of enemy soldiers land near the palace gates. They tried to sneak inside. Without hesitation, Kayla charged toward them. Her sword flashed in the sunlight. The Valaran warriors followed. The fight was fierce and close. Kayla moved with grace and power. She protected her people bravely. Ryan landed with his team beside her. They fought side by side. The enemy was pushed back. After hours of battle, the Dralkor fleet began to retreat. Their ships fled into space. The Valarans cheered. The humans smiled proudly. Kayla and Ryan stood together, breathing hard but alive. We won because we fought as one, Kayla said. Your boldness saved us. Ryan nodded. And your strength guided us. The battle had changed everything. The Valarans saw humans not as strangers, but as allies. Kayla's people whispered about the brave humans who stood with their princess. The council met again, this time with smiles and hope. Kayla spoke clearly. Valara faces a new age, she said. Together with the humans, we will protect our world. We will grow stronger, not by ignoring our past, but by embracing new friends. Ryan looked at Kayla with respect. This is only the beginning. Our alliance will build a better future. That night, under the stars of Valara, Kayla and Ryan made plans. They knew the galaxy was full of dangers and mysteries, but now they faced it together. The skies above Valara burned with fire and light. The Dralkor enemy fleet had returned with more ships, larger and more powerful than before. The planet's defenders prepared for the fight that would decide their future. Princess Kayla stood on the command bridge of her palace, watching the enemy ships approach. Her heart was steady but fierce. Beside her was Captain Ryan, calm and ready. They had trained their people well, but this battle was the greatest test yet. Valaran and human forces are ready, Ryan said, his voice firm. We must fight, smart and strong. Kyla nodded. Today, Valara will stand united. We protect our home and our people. The combined Valaran and human fleet launched from orbit. The sky filled with fighters and warships moving in perfect formation. Lasers and missiles flew through space like bright stars. The Dralkor fleet was massive, but the defenders fought bravely. The humans used their advanced technology to shield Valaran ships. Valaran pilots flew with skill and determination. On the ground, Velaran warriors prepared to defend the palace and cities. Kayla led the best fighters, ready to strike any enemy who landed. The battle was fierce and loud. Explosions shook the air and ground. Ships clashed, some destroyed, others retreating only to return stronger. In the middle of the chaos, Kayla and Ryan coordinated their forces. Their teamwork was impressive, combining human strategy with Velaran courage. Suddenly, a group of Dralkor warships broke through the defenses. They aimed directly for the capital city. Kayla's voice came over the comms, sharp and clear. "All units, protect the city at all costs." Ryan directed the human fleet to intercept the attackers. "We cannot let them land." Space fighters darted forward, meeting the enemy with volleys of fire. The fight was intense, and losses came on both sides. On the surface, enemy troops dropped from their ships, attacking Valaran soldiers and civilians. Kayla charged into battle with her sword shining in the sun. Her presence inspired those around. Ryan and his soldiers landed nearby, fighting beside Valaran warriors. Their teamwork saved many lives. The battle raged for hours. Kayla found herself facing the Dralkor commander in a fierce duel. The commander was strong and ruthless. Kayla's sword clashed against his weapon again and again. With a final strong strike, Kayla disarmed the commander. She spared his life, but made it clear Valara would never fall. The Dralkor commander retreated, his troops following. Back in space, Ryan's fleet pushed the remaining enemy ships away. The Dralkor retreated, defeated but not destroyed. Valara's people cheered. They had survived the greatest threat. Kayla and Ryan stood together once more, tired but victorious. "Your bravery saved Valara," Kayla said. "We could not have done this without you," Ryan smiled. "And your leadership showed us the way." The victory brought new hope. Valara and Earth were no longer strangers, but allies united by battle and trust. Kayla knew the fight had changed her people forever. The old fears were replaced with respect and friendship. She looked at Ryan and said, "This is the beginning of a new chapter. For Valara, for humans, for us all." Ryan nodded. "Together we can face whatever comes next," as the stars shone above. Valara's future looked bright, full of promise and unity. The battle was over. The stars were calm again above Valara. The great danger had passed, but the change it brought was just beginning. Princess Kayla stood on the balcony of her palace. The cool night air wrapped around her like a gentle cloak. She looked down at the city below, where lights glowed warmly and people moved with new hope. Beside her stood Captain Ryan, the bold human who had changed everything. They had fought side by side, defended Valara, and won together. Now, their work was not just about war, it was about building a future. Kayla spoke softly. "Ryan, our people watched you. They saw your courage and your heart. You showed us that strength is not only about tradition, but also about change." Ryan smiled gently. "Princess, your people have taught us too. We learned about honor, patience, and pride. Together, we are stronger." The night was full of quiet peace, but Kayla knew the real work was ahead. Valara and Earth were different worlds, with different ways of life. Now they had to find ways to live together. The next day, Kayla called her council to the Great Hall. This time, the room was filled with light and warmth. The council members sat quietly, waiting for her words. Kayla began, The war tested us. It showed us the power of unity. We must now build bridges between our worlds. Let this be a new era of friendship and cooperation." Some elders nodded, still cautious but willing. Others looked hopeful. The long years of fear and doubt had made way for something new. Captain Ryan stood beside Kayla and addressed the council. "Humans come in peace. We want to share knowledge, trade, and learn from you. We respect Valara's traditions and want to protect them together." The council listened. Slowly, smiles spread. The walls between the two peoples began to break down. Over the following weeks, teams of Valarans and humans worked together. They built new communication centers, shared technology, and planned cultural exchanges. Kayla and Ryan visited schools, markets, and homes. They met children who learned both Valaran and human stories. They saw families welcoming each other with kindness. One day, Kayla met a young Valaran girl who asked, "Princess, will the humans stay here forever?" Kayla smiled and knelt beside her. "The humans are our friends. We will live and grow together, respecting both our worlds." Ryan joined them and added, "Our worlds may be different, but we share the same hopes." The alliance grew stronger. Valara's skies were no longer filled with fear, but with new ships, explorers, traders, and friends. But not everyone was happy. Some Valarans still whispered against the humans, fearing change. Kayla understood their worry. Change was never easy. She spoke to the people openly. "Change can be hard, but it can bring strength and hope. We will face challenges, but together we will rise." Her words were strong and true. Slowly the people began to believe. One evening, as Kayla and Ryan stood watching the stars, she said, "You changed everything, Ryan, not just by fighting, but by being brave enough to stand for peace." Ryan smiled. "You held your ground with pride, Kayla. Together we made a new path." The future was bright. Two worlds, once strangers, now joined by courage, respect, and hope. A new era had dawned on Valara and across the stars.